This is the Pangea Mini. Let's talk about it. This keyboard was sent to us by Bowl Keyboards. However, this does not affect in anything we say or do in this review. All of our thoughts and opinions are our own. Pangea Mini is designed by Bowl Keyboards. He's the designer for Pangea Full Size, Cappy 60, as well as many others. He has done well over 130 private commissions. And Bowl actually started his own online store recently, which will have his own keyboards that he has designed, as well as keycaps and switches. The Pangea Mini is manufactured by STR, which is based in China. They have manufactured many keyboards such as the TKD 75% and the Cycle 8. Here's some basic information about the Pangea Mini. It is a 60% keyboard that comes in WinKey, WinKeyless, and HHKB layouts, which is all accomplished by changing out its top frame, which will come back later. It is a gasket mounted keyboard with an 8.5 degree typing angle and a 17.5mm front height. It comes with a VIA compatible 1.6mm PCB with a locked 7U bottom row. It comes in hot swap and solder versions. Let's talk about the aesthetics. The Pangea Mini is based off of its bigger brother, the Pangea Full Size. However, the archaeological theme is a little bit lost from the naming scheme and the patina weight from the Pangea Full Size. Theme aside, the Pangea Mini does capture the elegant curves that was also found on the Pangea Full Size. And frankly, I actually prefer this design on a 60% keyboard than the full size. And one of my favorite things about the aesthetics for the Pangea Mini is just how much you can customize it. You can pick between different colors and materials for the top case, the top frame, the bottom case, and the weight. And with all the different aesthetic options, the Pangea Mini is honestly one of the most customizable keyboard that's out on the market right now. I feel like everyone should be able to design something that they love. So how about the design? The Pangea Mini only comes in gasket mount. I'm totally okay if a keyboard only comes with one mount if the designer spent a lot of time, intentionality, making that one mount sound and feel good. In fact, I much prefer that over a keyboard that have multiple mounts that all of them sound and feel just okay. And spoiler alert, Bowl did a fantastic job designing this keyboard. The spacebar sounds incredibly lively and poppy. The Pangea Mini have a hidden screw design as well, and all that means is you cannot see any screws from the external case. Personally, it's not my favorite design because in order to get to the PCB assembly, you have to remove a few keycaps. It's not a big deal, it's just a personal preference on my end. However, Bowl did put in a slant screw design for the top case, so that way when you remove the assembly it'll prevent scratching, which honestly I thought was a really nice touch. And speaking of top frame, the Pangea Mini have an interchangeable top frame which allows you to change its layout and aesthetics with just a few screws. And lastly, the spacebar. I had a lot of people that have concerns and questions when they notice their mounting points under the spacebar of the Pangea Mini. Before we talk more about the Pangea Mini spacebar, we first need to understand why, traditionally speaking, it is not a good idea to design mounting points under a spacebar. When you put a mounting point under a spacebar, it can overly dampen the vibration in that area, which can cause a harsh type feel and can deaden the sound of the spacebar. A good designer who understands that concept can circumvent that rule through thoughtful and intentional design, which is what Bowl did in this case. And I know Bowl have done a lot of prototyping and testing of different materials and thickness for the gaskets. He also implemented leaf springs on the plate that will further the isolation from the spacebar. So with all that thought and intentionality, the Pangea Mini have a very lively spacebar, and it's got a soft type feel because of the thick gaskets. I will say the typing angle is a little bit steeper than what I'm used to, however, it is still incredibly comfortable for me. And now on to the sound test. We have two sound tests for this review. The first one is MX Black on aluminum, which is our typical control for the boards that we review. And the second sound test is Kailh BCPs on carbon fiber plate. Let us know in the comments down below which one do you prefer. I love the spacebar on the Pangea Mini. The spacebar is incredibly lively and poppy to me, and it honestly suits my personal preference. I don't think this keyboard will need any foam, not that it comes with any. I didn't hear any resonance or hollow issues during the test, and I think the heavier weight helps with that. Personally, I like the alphas with a long pole switch like the Kailh BCP and MX Black on the spacebar. I also prefer the all aluminum case because I noticed the acrylic top gives it a higher sound profile than what I personally prefer. The all aluminum top case and bottom case will bring the sound down a little bit more, which is honestly more my preference. So who is this keyboard for? I always want to bring this up in our reviews because I don't believe a single keyboard can fit everyone's preferences and needs. The Pangea Mini is for people who are looking for a 60% that they want to be able to customize to exactly how they like it, whether it be layout or aesthetics. You can change both of those with just a few screws. In fact, I personally will be picking up more top frames to do just that. And this keyboard is for someone who is looking for a premium designer 60%. And what I mean by that is a keyboard that has a lot of thought and intentionality put into designing it in very specific ways, which can be polarizing because they could speak to some people and not to others because the keyboard was done with a lot of intentionality. And this keyboard is for people who prioritize sound over type feel. Not that the type feel on this keyboard is bad at all. It's actually got a really great type feel. However, the sound is where this keyboard truly shines. Because anyone who appreciates a gasket mount keyboard that gives you that compressed, lively, poppy sound, you're going to love the Pangea Mini. So what are your thoughts about this keyboard? I personally thought this keyboard is going to cost more than what's being listed for. What are some things about the Pangea Mini that you appreciate? And what are some things that you wish will be changed? I would love to hear them in the comments down below. And if you like this review, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe for future content. I'll catch you guys next time.